Hi guys, welcome to the workshop again, or more specifically, the storage space I have here. Today I want to talk about one quite delicate topic, and those are saddles. So how should you choose your saddle for a road bike? Now, my advice is more focused on racers and aggressive riders, but can be applied to basically everyone with a bit of modification. So a lot of people usually tell you that you need to try a lot of different saddle types and shapes in order to find your preferred one that suits your bum. But I think that's true, and it's not, because I think you can make some really good informed decisions before even trying any saddle at all. So let's just delve into it. So I'm going to start with these mountain bikes. They say they have mountain bike specific saddles, but I don't see any reason why they shouldn't work on a road bike. Yeah, these are from Fizik with some pressure relief cutouts right there, quite a bit of nose padding. Same for the Selle Italia, quite a padded saddle, quite short as well. And some basic bikes, again, quite similar types of saddles, padded generously, and this classic shape. So then, if we get to the road bikes now, this is a Fizik Antares. It's quite a widely used saddle, and it suits me really well on this bike, because as you can see, it's not much of an aggressive position. There's barely like 2-3 centimeters of drop, and that's where I'm going to make my first point, because you see, the more aggressive your position is, the more specific your saddle has to be, and the more careful you have to be with your saddle choice, because when it comes to the front of the saddle, it's going to be crucial in order to be comfortable. I really couldn't try this saddle on my own bike, because that has a lot more aggressive position and a lot more drop, but I'm completely fine with this. And most saddle manufacturers, the Selle Italia is quite the same. I have ridden this bike, and again on this bike, this saddle works for me quite well. But on my old bike I also have the same model, just the SLR, which it's basically the same shape, but still with more drop it didn't work for me. Why? Because in different positions you have different rotations of your hips, and your saddle needs to accommodate that. So what I chose for my Madone was the Serrano RXL, and most manufacturers actually have quite different saddles for different applications, and they are divided into many categories. So this saddle is specifically designed for an aggressive posture, and you can see that in the shape. It's designed for more of a forward rotation. It has a tilted back slightly upwards to give support to your back and your hips, but the front end is quite well padded in order to relieve pressure from those sensitive areas when you're very forward and very aggressive on the bike. And then if you get one step further, then you have these saddles with stubby noses. This is the new Fizik Mystica, or my new dash saddle for my Madone. These are primarily designed for aggressive aerodynamic positions, and that is achieved by kind of a cut-off shape in the front, really wide nose, really dense padding here. It also tends to be quite hard, so it's nice and supportive, a bit softer on the dash, in a large central area. So when you have your your hips rotated forward, you have both a good support and also a lot of comfort as well from these, well, basically two separate spars. Actually, this is quite similar to the ISM saddle design. So yeah, my point is you should really make your saddle choice based on your position without choosing in any other aspect before. So first you need to consider your position. Different brands have different saddles for different positions. Fizik have their time trial saddles, then their Antares, Arione, and so on. Montreja, again, have saddles for relaxed positions, for aggressive positions, for time trial positions, I think specialized as well. So if you're a racer, you definitely need a saddle with an aggressive designation, because otherwise it's going to be really painful in my experience. And after that you can play around with width and different shapes and designs, but you need to get this basic thing right. Because, for example, in my Serrano, I have good experiences, but because I didn't get any pressure or uncomfortable hotspots or anything, but I found that I get a lot of chafing when I get towards the front of the saddle, because it still has this long narrow nose, even though it's well padded. So I was really keen to get on this new dash saddle I have here. Now my other dash saddle on the Speed Concept has just basically these straight rail shaped pads with no wide bit, and that is only good for time trials, because again, if you choose an aggressive saddle for an upright position, it's not gonna be good either, because on a saddle like this, sitting upward creates a lot of pressure on the back areas, and there's nothing to relieve those. So you really need to take this into consideration. Now, this is not a pure time trial saddle, it's also designed for road use, and that's why it has this classic flared shape in the rear, so you can sit both upright and on the nose when you're hammering on the aero bars or something like that. Another feature I would like to point out, saddles like these with oval carbon rails tend to be extremely stiff, so they do take away a bit of comfort, at least in my experience, because if you try to push this, it doesn't move at all. Whereas these dash saddles, what I really like about them, and what really adds to comfort, is that they have carbon rails, but they are round and really thin and also really tall. Now that creates a problem, because I had to change my seat post for a shorter one to accommodate that into my position. But then you get tons of absorptions in my experience, with these tall rails flexing around underneath you, even if, well, I'm pretty light, so they're quite flexible. And also the hull or the base of the saddle can also flex quite a bit. Maybe you can see it, but it's quite easy to flex. The functional part of the saddle goes basically just up to here. This is just an extension to make it UCI legal. Also, with a short saddle like this, with a stubby nose, you can dial in a more aggressive position, because the shorter nose is going to be always further from the bottom bracket, so you can bring it up closer to get more aero at the front. So that's another benefit. Now this Fizik saddle is quite a similar shape. It allows for both an upright position here at the rear and time trial position here at the front. So for aggressive racing, time trialing, I definitely suggest that you look into something like this. This also has kind of a rubber seat cover, so it's no slip. This Dash one, it's more of a classic cover design, but still provides quite a good amount of grip, so you are not sliding over too much. Yeah, that's my old saddle right there. Now these, I think, sum up my experiences. For leisurely rider positions, saddles like these won't work for you, and vice versa. If you want to ride an aggressive position, let me just yeah, it's quite a lot of drop, around 10-11 centimeters, I think. Then yeah, you are going to need a saddle that can make you comfortable in that position, because otherwise it's going to be really quite painful. For example, on a Physique Antar race with 3 centimeters of drop, it's perfectly fine. With 10, not anymore. Okay, this is my take on the saddles. If you'd like to know more about my bikes and some technical tips concerned, then don't forget to tune into my channel and subscribe. It's all for today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.